Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, and welcome to the GrianaigCreations podcast channel. This is episode 103. My name is Kirsty. My pronouns are they, them, and I am coming to you from an extremely wet and flooded Paisley in Scotland. I'm not lying when I say it's flooded. We were on an amber alert for flooding, and for once it actually was correct. And there's like a couple of roads that we can get in and out of to get to like the motorway or to get to some shops, to get everywhere. There's like so many different routes you can take. There's like 3 different routes just to get to the motorway, and yeah, pretty much all of them were flooded. We could not leave. We were meant to go down to visit my parents yesterday and to go see Becky at her kind of like our pop-up trunk show type thing in the Wee Crafty Owl, but I should add Becky of Ammo Yarns. But yeah, the weather just was not cooperating. Some of the videos people were putting out on, that people were putting out on social media was actually a little bit scary. There was one where the lines for the train were completely flooded, so like our platforms, just like I think everywhere, our platforms are more raised up, and so there was just like a sea of water going through where the trains would be, almost up to the line of the platform. So it has been intense here weather-wise. Thankfully, I wouldn't say high winds, just quite a bit of rain. So because of that, I don't know if we're going to be going out today or not. I have showered. I have fresh hair. But it started raining again, so that fresh hair might not last very long. I don't know why I bother sometimes, honestly. I don't know why I bother. But I am loving the curls again. I do need to try and find a hairdresser that is experienced with curly hair. Apparently we need quite a few more layers, and considering last time I went to a hairdresser I pretty much asked her to remove all of my layers, so I need to get some cut back in, because if I don't do it and just give my hair the love and TLC it needs, I'm probably just going to cut it all off and go short again after the wedding. So I'm recording in a slightly different setup today. I'm actually recording on my phone. I've already recorded just a little bit and checked it for audio, and it seems okay, but I don't really watch my videos back, so please let me know in the comments down below if the audio isn't that great, and I can maybe try and see about getting like a wee microphone or just swapping back entirely to my camera. It's just, I think it's going to be easier to upload the video to YouTube from my phone than it is trying to get it from my camera to my laptop and then my laptop to YouTube. So I set myself 3 goals or challenges. I'm going to go with goals. Last time I recorded, and I am so happy to say that I actually completed all 3 and more. Sorry, I'm not long awake, so my voice is kind of like, these are the first words you've spoken. Okay, so my 3 goals for last week, or that I set 2 weeks ago, sorry, were to finish the underwing mittens, technically done, still to weave in the ends, finish my granny stripe jumper, which was just to add the waistband onto, still to do, 1 or 2 ends to weave in. I wove in all the others as I showed off last time. And then the other one was to finish sock 1 of my mum and then start sock 2. And I have actually just dropped a needle. I have finished sock 1 and finished sock 2. So, right, I don't want to lose these knitting needles. So I got my DP ends, my 9-inch circular and a darning needle. And if I put them on this sofa, they're probably going to fall down one of the cracks, and this is a pull-out sofa. So I then have to pull the pull-out out to get the needles and stuff. Okay, so I'm going to start with the socks, considering they're in my hand. I don't have a blocker. The second one only just got finished last night, so I do still have the ends to weave in. So wee sneaky peek, there is ends. But the first one is all complete and finished, bound off. All my ends have not been woven in. I really thought I'd done that. Oh no, I've wove them in, I just don't think I've cut them. Yeah, I've just not cut them. Look at me being proactive, unlike normal. Yep, wove them all in, just for some reason I didn't cut them. I need to get a couple more pair of like little scissors. The one I have is just getting blunter and blunter and blunter, and it's so annoying. So for a refresher, the majority of this yarn is a West Yorkshire Spinners yarn. It is one of their bird colorways. I'm just not sure which one. And then the contrasting semi-color, semi-tonal, almost semi-solid, is a yarn from Mrs. Lamb's Yarns. You'll see it slightly better at the toe. So I have actually pretty much used up every single bit of the darker green, which makes me extremely happy, because I'm just trying to use up some of my stash, or go through it with like a really open mind to be like, am I actually going to use this? So that was like a 20-gram mini. So I'm really glad that I got to use the majority of that up. So this was sock 1, and then I've got sock 2, and they're very, very close to being identical. Like you can see on this first one, there's like a little sliver of the light green. There isn't on this one. So it's this like, it's 2 if not 3 rows different on the second sock, which is absolutely fine, because you can't really tell. If you're paying very, very close attention, that's the only way you can tell. So these are finished, and I'm very happy about that. I just really hope they fit. I've taken like foot outlines of my mum and my friend Kirsty, and Kirsty has significantly smaller feet. But I'm sure I've now done 2 outlines of my mum, and one is just a little bit bigger or a little bit smaller, depending on which one you're holding, than the other. And so I'm like, I'm not convinced whose is whose. If the 2 that are just ever so slightly bigger and smaller are for my mum or not. So I might need to get her to do it again, and then actually put her name on it, because that would be common sense, basically. Something I'm quite clearly lacking. So yeah, this was the goal that I went over and above with. I was only meant to start the second sock, but I have actually blown through that, and I have got it finished. And I think a big part of that was to do with I have been seriously like procrastinating on doing my bouquet for my wedding, which is 3 weeks away. So yeah, I really got to pull the finger out there. So nobody get at me. Like, I am aware my wedding is 3 weeks away. I am also just wanting to lose myself in a book and not worry about anything like work stress, having to have a deadline for crafting projects. I don't do well with deadlines. I really don't. So yeah, I think what really helped me get these done and off the needles was that we ended up in the out of hours doctor at 5 a.m. with Scott on Friday. And out of panic, I was just like, I need a knitting project. I need to keep my hands busy. I can't just sit around and wait for the doctor to get back to us. He's absolutely fine. I'm not going to go into it, but he is fine. So yeah, I don't think I would have got these finished to record today had that not happened. But I would still have achieved my goal. So there's that. Okay, so the other thing I wanted to get finished was the second mitten of the underwing mitts. And here is both of them, looking very lovely. I don't know if I'm going to go in and do the duplicate stitch on the lower wing. It's not that I don't trust myself to do it. I have done duplicate stitch before. It's just that this is already very bulky, and I have used a dark, contrasting colour. So I just have this image of putting, say, like an orange on it, like a very light colour, and the grey is just going to completely show through. So I might try it and know that I can just rip it out. But at the same point, I really just like these as they are. I think they are beautiful. The only thing I'm going to go back and do is take out this bind off. So this was a mitt one, and you can see the bind off here. It's not the nicest, so that I'm pretty sure was like a Judy's stretchy cast off. Whereas with this one, I just went up a half a needle and bound off quite loosely. And it flares a little bit, as you can see, but it just looks nicer than the top of this one. So if you just, I don't know, there's just something about how this looks at the top that I don't like, whereas I really like the top of that one. I think that looks very pristine and neat. And I done the same on the thumb, like I done the same cast off here as the thumb, because I hadn't done the thumb on the first one. So I'm gonna rip back the cast off or bind off, whatever you want to call it. And then I'm just gonna weave in my ends, and they are good to go in my opinion. I'm not gonna bother blocking them. They'll block out on my hands as I wear them. Just ignore all the ends coming out. So yeah, they will block when I wear them. With the heat from my hands, unless I'm outside. In which case, it is already getting cold here. Like, see when it's on, like this is mitt one, when it's on, it doesn't look too bad. It's just when it's off, but because they look so different as well, I'm just gonna go back and fix it, because I prefer that. It's much neater than that one. This one just looks scruffy. So yeah. So I will rip back the cast off probably today, and then just spend the day, part of the day, weaving in the ends, and then have these completely done. Just the same as I will go back and snip the ends on the first sock and weave in the ends on the second sock, and then these are officially done. And then my other goal for this week was to get the granny stripe sweater completely finished, and there's literally 2 ends that I need to weave in, and then it is done. This ribbing and attaching it to the sweater, oh my god, it took so much out of me. And then I realised I'd actually attached it to the sweater wrong. I forgot I had the sweater turned inside out, and then I put it on. So I attached it like that, but I attached it to the wrong side of the garment, And then when I flipped it inside out, I realised that you could see the joining seam just here. Like you could see where it had joined, like you could see all the stitches. And at first I was like, no, God, no, like seriously, I can't take this off and attach it again. And then I put it on and I asked Scott for his opinion. He's just like, actually, I really like that little row of stitches. Like it looks really, really good. And I'm not just agreeing with him so that I don't have to rip it out again. That's only 50% of the reason. But I think he's right. I think that actually looks really, really nice. It's like a design feature or whatever you want to label it as. But yeah, I think it does look really, really lovely. It just adds another bit to the garment. But yeah, I only have 2 ends to weave in, and then this is absolutely done and wearable, and about time because it is getting quite chilly here. And it's not exactly colours I would reach for straight away, but my mum knit me a sweater in these colours and it is one of the comfiest jumpers I've ever worn. I know I change between jumper and sweater, so sorry if that annoys anyone. But yeah, I'm not a neutral, I'm not a kind of quiet colour person. I do prefer like brights and stuff like that. But sometimes you do just need like something that will go with nearly everything. So yeah, I really, really like this. I'm glad I got it finished. And now it's just 2 ends to be woven in and then it's done. Get more tea before it goes cold. I know everyone kind of sometimes gives podcasters a bad rep because they're always drinking tea. But this is legit one of the first things I drink in the morning. And I only drink one normal cup of tea. When I say normal, one with caffeine. And then I either move on to decaf or I just don't drink any more tea and I'll be on like diluting juice. So like tea is pretty much the first thing I drink in the morning. Okay, so because I've been procrastinating on my bouquet, I know I need to do it, but it's because I need to do it, I don't want to do it. So because of that, I have been picking up other projects. I have put decent amount of work into 3 projects. I'm just kind of glancing where I would normally craft and just think if there's been anything else I've worked on. I don't think so. I think it's only been 3 projects. So I'll start with the first one that's closest to hand. They're in no particular order. I've just been working my little heart away. So this is the Ravelry shawl. It is a 2-colour brioche shawl, and I'll put all the details down below for where you can find the pattern. It was free when I got it, and there you'll also get the information of the designer because I don't remember off the top of my head. I really want to get this done because I want the finished object, not because I'm not enjoying the process. That being said, I do have to always go onto YouTube and just remind myself how to do the brioche decreases. I am good with the increases, it's the decreases I constantly have to remind myself of. So this is the right side of the project, and the last time you saw it would have been just, there is a lifeline in here. So this orange line here is my lifeline. So I've done a whole repeat of this shawl, and I have one repeat more to go before I start decreasing. So that one more repeat until I'm halfway. And this is already a nice size. Like that is, it's drooping, but it is currently over half of my wingspan. Like if I was to kind of pull it taut, it goes to, like my arm is completely outstretched and it goes to my shoulder. So it's going to have a nice drape and a nice like wrap. But yeah, I still have all my lifelines in from like previous sections, repeats. So you can see all my my lifelines. I haven't taken any of them out. You never know when you have to rip back. But yeah, so I've done 20 rows on this, which is actually really technically 40, because obviously the two color brioche, or just brioche in general. And I do really love this project, but again, it is a project where I can't be watching a TV program, I can't be listening to an audiobook, I can watch podcasts, but I'm more likely or not just to have music on in the background. Sorry. So yeah, I'm really happy that I've got another repeat done. I'll show you the wrong side. I'm really happy with my colour choices. Some people might not have agreed and just been like, why would you put a tonal next to a solid? But I don't know, there's just something about this combination that I really enjoy, especially like on the right side. I think that's gorgeous. Now, obviously it's going to look better when it's blocked. It's currently on a not long enough cable. So yeah, this is the Ravelry shawl, and I am knitting it in Queen of Pearls and Woo Sheeps. So this has got a stellina in it. Let's see, can you see it? A wee bit. You can see the stellina a wee bit. It's very subtle. It is a very subtle stellina. I do like it. And you don't feel the stellina either. It's not one of those new ones where it's like lurex or anything. It's a very, very soft and subtle sparkle. So I'm really glad I was able to pick that up and put, I think that was only like 2, maybe 3 days work, because I was able to focus on it and not have anything distracting me, or like I think I worked over it like over my lunch breaks and then after work. I think that's right. So my lunch breaks, I don't have, like Scott and I have very different lunch breaks, so he was not around to kind of like distract me or talk to me. And then after work, I think he was catching up on like wrestling or one of his TV programs. So we weren't trying to like catch up on our own programs together or playing a video game or just chatting. So I can work on it then. Next project that I've been working on is my Dustland sweater. I'm not going to pull it all the way out because I've only been working on the sleeve. Tuck that in. I need to attach a new ball. So the last time you saw this project was at this red marker here. This has only had maybe like not even a full day's worth of work on it. This has maybe had 4 or 5 hours. And I am currently decreasing, so that's what the rest of the stitch markers are. These are all decreases. I need to add one in because I think I've done another decrease. So yeah, I've done 4 decreases so far, and I don't think I'm going to get to the decrease number that Stephen West actually has you have, but I also don't mind doing a very drastic decrease around the cuff and having a slight flare and like flared cuff. So yeah, I'm enjoying picking this back up, and it's also now one of those projects where I just need to look at the previous sections to know what I need to do, so I don't have to have my pattern there. It's just, it is now quite bulky, and I don't actually see when I'm working on it, I don't even take the rest of it out the bag. I just literally sit and work on the sleeve. And I think the reason I was working on this yesterday, and I was going to continue working on it, but I ran out of yarn and I couldn't be bothered getting up and getting a ball. So I worked on my mum's sock, and then I was on the phone to my friend who's coming over for the wedding, and I maybe could have got away with knitting on that instead of the sock, but this does just involve a little bit more brain power to be like, right, what section am I on? What am I meant to be doing? Am I doing a decrease? Whereas with the sock, it's just knit. So yeah, I'm really happy. I think I'm now halfway. I think when I put this up against myself, it was like in the crease of my arm. So I'm gonna just keep with my slow, steady decreases. I might try it on because this is the widest part of this part of my arm. Like actually, I'm narrower at the elbow, and then I puff out because I've got quite a bit of muscle here. So I will need to try this on and see whether or not I should do more decreases, but I think with like the width of the fabric, and there is actually like I don't think I'm gonna even block this, do you know that? I think I'm just gonna like have it as it is. That being said, I do think the chest needs blocked, just because there is a like broken rib on the chest, and it does look like it just looks very, what's the word I'm trying to use here? I don't know. So as a reminder, I'm using Lamia premium knitting yarn, and it's the Just Wool. And this is really gorgeous yarn, and I have way more than I need. So the body isn't finished, it's just on hold until I get the sleeves done, and then I can decide if I want like super long length or like just covering my, like just halfway down my butt, past my butt, above my butt. My sweaters normally originate in the butt area. I don't, unless I'm specifically doing like a crop. A sweater for me should be like mid-butt at least. So I want to get the sleeves done, and then I can put in the remaining yarn into the body. But I might make a matching hat. I'm not sure. I haven't. Yeah, I could have this on my head. But yeah, I might make a dustland hat. Depends how much yarn I've got left over. Don't quote me on that. Yeah, hopefully this will get some work done, but I know I need to work on my bouquet. I know, I just don't want to. And I should want to, but it's that whole obligation knitting, crochet. It doesn't sit well with me. I took on too much in the way of like making for the wedding. My last project I have loved, and I've only put on about 2 inches, but it's a lot of work for those 2 inches. It is my blanket. It is my granny stripe blanket, and when I held it up, like I had it kind of grazing the floor and I held it up, I still didn't think it was long enough. But that being said, when you hold it up, it pulls on its weight. So I know for a fact it's not long enough, and I really need to get it up and put it over our bed, because I do want it to, I want to be able to have it hang over the bottom of the bed and then still be like at least, if not past, halfway on the pillows. And I don't know if that's extreme for a blanket. I really don't. So we'll see, because when I show you the amount of yarn I technically have left over, like I have left, it is not a lot. So this is what I have left. But that being said, I am looking at a jar that has all, I think it's my remaining opal minis. Part of me doesn't even want to use them because of how they look in the jar. We have a clear glass skull jar. Yes, you heard that right. And I put all the minis in this jar. I'll show you afterwards. I'll take a wee clip. And I like them in that jar. I really do. And I don't want to use them. So I might just need to make more socks. Yeah, so the socks I finished for my mum, there's still some leftover West Yorkshire spinners, so I can put that in here once this is done. And then I'm sure I've got other sock yarn scraps left over. So for anyone that is new to the channel, I am specifically making this blanket out of kind of that workhorse, sock yarn, where it's got that woolly feel to it, instead of, like, there's no indie dyed in this blanket. It's all opal, West Yorkshire spinners, Regia. It's that feel of sock yarn, and I love that feel of sock yarn. Other people may not agree. Like, some people can only have it on their feet. I don't think I could have it. I could maybe have it around my neck, but I don't think I could have it on my head. But yeah, there's just something about knowing that this entire blanket is made up of mostly Regia, opal, heart and soul, heart and soul, happy feet. What are the other sock yarn brands that I use? West Yorkshire spinners. But yeah, all of that kind of style of sock yarn. Right, where is the top? Where's my marker? So this is where you last saw it. Is it? No, it's not. This is where you last saw it. I don't know why I've stuck with that one. Yeah, that's my 2-inch mark. So this marker is where you would have last seen it, or just below. So I've put on I've put on 8 rows, and that might not sound like a lot, but there's a lot of width to this blanket. Like, this is not a 1-person blanket. This is a king size blanket. It's not even a double. So it takes some effort, it does, to do a roll. But the best thing is I can drape it over myself and keep it warm, and then it's just shifting it round to work back a roll. So, like, my lower body can still be absolutely covered by this blanket, keeping me nice and toasty, and I can still work on it. And it's only kind of like maybe around my stomach area that might get a wee bit cold when I shift it to work back the roll. So I thoroughly enjoy working on this, and I'm so glad it's now cooler and cool enough for me to actually pick it up and work on it. Makes me very happy. So that is all I have to share with you this 2 weeks. I know I was meant to record on Thursday, but have you ever just woken up and just been like, meh, like, eh? And I've also been really engrossed in a book series, the From Blood and Ash series by Jennifer L. Armentrout, I think it is. My Kindle's upstairs. So I've been reading pretty much most of my spare time. So what have I reading? Cleaning the flat. We had someone round yesterday for pat testing because we're in a rental. So they were there to check like our smoke detectors, check our water. My mum said it was to test for like Legionnaire's disease. Thankfully it passed. And then checked like our washing machine, our fridge, freezer, our cooker, and the heaters within the property. So that was yesterday. As I kind of mentioned at the start, Scott's been unwell. He's been on a course of antibiotics, and he was up at the out of hours at 5 a.m. That was not a fun time to be awake, but of course, like the minute he said he'd made the appointment, I got straight up and drove him, because he was not fit enough to drive the car, and I would not have been able to stay in the house, just wondering what was going on. So this last week's mostly just been looking after Scott, keeping an eye on him, so I've not really been doing anything else, which is probably another reason I've not been doing the bouquet. I just wanted something mindless, which is why I've been doing a lot of reading. And then the week before, what did we do the week before? See, this is where my memory really sucks. I have the memory of a goldfish. What did we do? Clearly, if I don't remember anything, then clearly we didn't do anything. I don't know. I'm hoping to get out today. I used up all my Nutella. No, that sounds like such a weird reason to get out of the house. But I took a notion for Nutella on toast yesterday, and oh my god, I would love that for breakfast again, but I don't have any. So I need to go out and get more Nutella. And maybe something for dinner. That would be reasonable and sensible. I forgot to mention, I would like to offer up 3 copies of my friend's new pattern. It's annoyingly, because I'm recording my phone, I can't show you or talk to you about it. I'm going to, like, I'll stop recording after I talk about the giveaway, and then I will go grab my iPad, and then I'll try and bring it up so you can see it, or because I don't know, I'm going to try editing on iMovie for the first time, so I don't want to like overwhelm myself by being like, I'm going to put in a photo, when really I'm just like, oh my god, I don't know how to. So yeah, my friend Sarah has released her new sock pattern, and it's either Nurture or Nature. I am so sorry. I really should have paid more attention, but it is such a beautiful pattern. So, excuse me, I would like to offer up 3 copies of this pattern. I'm going to give one away on Instagram on my GrianaigCreations page, and then I'm going to offer one up here in the comments, and then the third one is going to be offered up within the Facebook group. So to get a copy of this pattern, you must be subscribed to me, as do all giveaways. So yeah, you have to, for on here, you have to be subscribed to the channel, and then just leave a comment in the comment section. Basically, I don't know, I didn't think this through, I just knew I was going to just leave a comment, just tell me how your day's going. The pattern will be given through Ravelry though, so that is something to be aware of. I could probably, if you cannot access Ravelry, I could maybe talk to Sarah and see if there's a way for me to send her the money via PayPal, and she emails you the pattern. So do not enter if you can't use Ravelry. I just don't know if you can gift on Payhip. That's my issue. So she's got patterns on Payhip and Ravelry, but I don't know if you can gift on Payhip. So yeah, same on the Facebook channel. You have to be a member of the group, Facebook group. You have to be a member of the group, and I'll put up a post and you can just leave a comment in there. And then same on Instagram, I will put up a post and you leave a comment on that post. So I will try and add in a clip of the sock here. So the sock is the Nurture sock. So I was right. And this is the pattern here. And isn't it beautiful? So she's got a different, she's knit it up in two different samples, colours. And I don't know, there's just something so delicate and beautiful about these socks. And I knew the second I saw these, like she's been posting them on her page for a couple of weeks now. And there's honestly just something so beautiful. And when I use the word dainty, I don't know if that's a bad thing, but to me it isn't. Delicate and dainty about these. And I honestly think they are just stunning. So this is Sarah Oliver Knits. Sarah did used to have a podcast, but now she is putting so much effort into some really beautiful designs. So I will be gifting 3 copies of this pattern. Again, just one on here on the Facebook channel, just YouTube channel. Just leave a comment down below. Just let me know how your day's going and I'll enter you into the giveaway, and I will draw 3 winners in 2 weeks time when I next record. And then again, also feel free to jump in and then apply in the Facebook group and the Instagram page, and you get 3 chances to win. So yeah, let's support a little indie designer because these are just so stinking cute. And Sarah is just such a lovely person as well. So thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a lovely time crafting. It's 3 weeks to my wedding, so I will be recording in 2 weeks time, and then I don't know when I'll next record after that. It might be 2 weeks again, it might be 3 weeks, I don't know. But I will be with you in 2 weeks time, and I'll let you know if my bouquet is finished. It has to be. I have 1 big rose left to do and 4 smaller roses, and I've decided that some of the ones I had already made are not going in the bouquet, so that's a bummer. I put my time and my effort into those ones and I'm not going to use them, but I think I've made the right call in doing 1 big one in the Violet Ground Beetle by Quack Yarns, and then 4 small ones in the kind of like custom colorway I asked her for. So I have my hands busy. My challenge to myself this time is to finish that bloody bouquet, because I was really starting to get disheartened with it because I attached floral wire to it, and I think I've just attached it without enough space, and some of them are quite wobbly. And I also have decided to run a length of yarn through the main section to kind of just keep them in line, and then I'm gonna run another line. So I kind of currently have them set up. I'm gonna have them set up like that, and then 4 small ones in between the cross, and I'm gonna hope that that looks okay. This is the first time I've done something like this. When I made my sister's bouquet, the flowers were much lighter and smaller, and therefore they didn't have so much weight to them, so they didn't move around as much. So it's touch and go currently, but I just need to make 1 more big rose, 4 small roses, and then we'll see how that looks and how that sits. Then I can make like a call as to what we're gonna do. But yeah. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, please do stay safe and happy crafting. Bye. So this is the skull jar that I told you about. Full of my little balls.
of opal, and then just a little octopus on top.